Hello everyone, this is Cinema Analytics. Is the superhero genre in decline or not? Well, let's look at some data to try to determine if that's the case or not. And the way we're going to do that is by looking at the top 300 inflation-adjusted movies of all time. And we're going to look at a particular subset of that data. We're looking at movies released since 2002. And we're going to put those movies into a data set and see how well they have been performing over since 2002. So we're starting off here on our chart. We're looking at the superhero genre, and this is the average gross of movies per year in that particular genre. So we're starting in 2002 with the release of Spider-Man. And we're going all the way to 2018 with the release of Black Panther and Infinity War. Now, this list does not include movies that did not make the top 300. So, for instance, in 2017, you would not see uh, Justice League on this list. So, as far as fatigue goes, the average gross, we see a slight incline. We can also look at the average gross along with the number of movies in this particular genre that made the list. In 2017, for instance, we see that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, and Wonder Woman all made that list. And finally, we can look at the total gross of the movies that made that list. And taking all three of these charts in consideration, you can see that the superhero genre is indeed very healthy. There's no sign of a decline here. The other takeaway from here is that you can see that starting in 2018 is when the superhero genre really started to ramp up. And a lot of that is due to the fact that in 2008, we had both The Dark Knight and Iron Man, which was released, and Hancock also was released that year. That contributed to this peak here. So no sign of a fatigue in the superhero genre. So let's take a look at a few other genres to see if there's a decline there. This is for animated films. You can see 2003, 2004, the average gross of the movies that make this list was much higher. But let's see how many movies made that list for those years. And you can see only one movie here, two movies in 2014. You have three movies here, but a smaller average. Let's go ahead and take a look at another genre. Let's look at fantasy. And for fantasy films, again, a slight decline in the average gross. And now we're looking at the average gross along with the number of movies that were released. And for fantasy films, you can see that we have a higher average gross along with more movies that made that list. And that's understandable once you look at the movies that were released around that time frame. We had the early Pirates of the Caribbean movies. We had the Harry Potter movies as well. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and also the Transformer movies. The first Transformer movies were released in this time frame. So for fantasy films, still healthy, but definitely not at peak level. Take a look at another genre. Let's look at sci-fi. And you can see with sci-fi, yeah, they were doing okay, but we're actually starting to reach peak level, and that's purely due to the new Star Wars films being released, starting from 2015. As far as the number of movies that make that list, not a great number of movies in the sci-fi genre that make the list. Once again, it's pretty much all Star Wars now, um, and the total gross less than 2005, which is the year where we had King Kong's Star Wars Episode 3 and Spielberg's War of the World. But because of Star Wars, we're seeing that it's starting to peak out over again. So that's just a quick look at different genres. If you wanted to take a look at uh, one of these other genres, say horror, well, there's only one movie in this time frame that made the list, and that's It, which was released last year. For musicals, well, only one movie, again released last year, Beauty and the Beast. So that just kind of gives you a pretty general assessment of how well the superhero genre and other genres are performing. If you want to take a look at this chart, I will have the link available below. So just click on it and you can take a closer look for yourself. And that's it for now. Thank you for watching. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe.